What is going on, everybody? Xaenca here, back once again with another video just for you. Usually when a piece of entertainment comes out, one of few things tends to happen. 1. The majority loves it and SJWs hate it. For whatever reason, maybe there's too many white people, especially if they're men. Oh my god, that would be awful. There's not enough black people or minorities in general, not enough alphabet people, or whatever they've added lately on the continuously growing, never-ending list of things that get their panties in a bunch. 2. The majority hates it, but SJWs love it. For whatever reason, maybe the main character is a strong, female, Hispanic character. Perhaps she's gender fluid and also disabled. Maybe all the white men are short and have 2-inch peens.
Is this really who you want to be? Testosterone-driven windbags boasting about your big guns? Surely we don't need to measure anything.
Maybe despite strong female character's disability, she was born with immense power and can destroy anyone who opposes her just by looking at them.
You can't stop me, I'm a Jedi from Jakku.
And I should stop before any SJW watching this blows their load. 3. It's awesome and everybody loves it. It had a good story, good characters. If they did make an attempt at incorporating diversity, they did it with class, where they focused on writing a good character first and then their race and gender or whatever sexual orientation came after. Just the good building blocks of a good story. But every now and then we get the rarest outcome of them all, the ever elusive number 4. A piece of shit of such magnitude that it unites both sides in hatred. It's like the perfect storm. It's like those old comic book events where both the superheroes and supervillains would need to unite against a greater threat. And Marvel has given us that perfect storm with the new Warriors comic book. Everybody's talking about it, everybody hates it, even the SJWs, except for maybe Bleeding Cool, but fuck Bleeding Cool. They'd probably eat shit on a plate if Marvel produced it. But this thing is god-awful. It's getting disliked to hell. It's reaching almost 100,000 dislikes now. Marvel's been accused of deleting comments. This thing is a train wreck. And we all know why, or have an idea why we don't like it. But the interesting part, like I said, is that SJWs don't like it either. But this thing was made for them. How could they possibly not like it? How could it possibly be that
Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they, them?
But CBR and the Mary Sue are not on board? How is this possible? Well, let's look into it. The internet is having a mixed reaction to new Warriors characters Snowflake and Safespace by Princess Weeks. Well, it's not very mixed, it's pretty one-sided if you ask me. Creating new characters in comics is hard, especially when you are trying to add diversity to the medium. There's a segment of the population that will always have some sort of hateration about forced diversity. Alright, Mary J. Blige. However, that doesn't mean there can't be constructive feedback when it comes to how new marginalized characters are designed. When it comes to Snowflake and Safespace, which are the names of 2 heroes for the upcoming New Warriors comic series, there is a lot to unpack there. Creating new characters in comics is hard, especially when you are trying to add diversity to the medium. I completely agree with that, and it's for the same reasons I said earlier. The problem is when these people create characters, they're not focusing on creating the character first. They're trying to add the diversity first. They'll focus on things like they're gay and they're black, instead of trying to focus on what made them the way they are today, whether it be tragic backstory, a case of nature versus nurture being a product of a bad environment. No, you gotta focus on them being black and gay first, which to the vast majority of people that don't care about that thing is the least interesting sounding thing about you at that point. I don't care if you're gay or black, I care about what kind of person you are. And the problem is when they focus too much on that sort of thing, they don't create the person behind all of that. That is the person to them. It's just a very two-dimensional way of creating characters, but let's continue. The characters were designed by Luciano Vecchio and created by Daniel Kibblesmith, a writer for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Kibblesmith is behind Loki, Black Panther vs. Deadpool, and the children's book Santa's Husband. He is by all accounts an ally and someone who has created really thoughtful LGBTQ, LMNOP, content. However, this was just a really poor choice. Ooh, there it is. When first saw the tweet from a friend of mine which shared that Snowflake is non-binary, I truly thought this was going to be akin to a Frank Miller Take That Libs comic. Then they show a tweet from a blue checkmark on Twitter, which if you don't already know, being a blue checkmark on Twitter, 9 out of 10 times you're just a radical left weirdo. I personally love to see 2 white cis men at Marvel create a black non-binary character named Snowflake in the year of our Lord 2020. I'm personally terrified to find out who someone like This Is Lord is, but There is the crux of the problem. It doesn't matter if you're an ally. If you're a cis white man, you are the ultimate evil and nothing you do is ever good enough. Within the demographic of non-binary comic fans, yeah, non-binary comic fans, all 10 of them, it does not to be hitting the mark because of the names and the implications of the color choices given to them. Not to pile on and not to speak for the NB community, but gender norms like blue and pink, for example, even if you are wink wink flipping them, are exactly the thing non-binary folks want nothing to do with. This feels like it was created without any input or research. What if the characters just like those fucking colors though? Jesus Christ. The colors don't just have to be associated with gender norms, they could just be colors. What the fuck? Luciano Vecchio is a queer man, and as I said before, Kibble Smith has a history of being an ally. But that doesn't automatically mean you have the full range of language to create every kind of character. Who does? Who has the full range? Because I've seen shit, like have you seen that video where like it has a bunch of alphabet people talking about LGBTQ and none of them agree with each other. So who does?
Since queer is being more inclusive of those other letters in the alphabet, I don't necessarily love all the letters in the alphabet. That's why I like the word queer. So I can have this one word that is more inclusive of everything. So I feel like you either can't necessarily be...
remains to be defined.
Yeah,
no one can define the word.
I thought I did.
I'm pretty sure. No, you really didn't.
So it is
but an easy
absence of
definition
cisgender.
would be
But that
anybody
is the
who's a
T.
gender or
That is the
sexual
T.
minority,
To say,
right?
say again?
Anyway, if people within the community are saying that this feels off and insulting in good faith, then I think that should be listened to. I'm not NB, a non-binary, goddamn. NB, okay. But just by naming a black non-binary character Snowflake and partnering them up with a black male character named Safespace sounds weird. Well, no shit. There should have just been more people taking a look at this within that community. Yeah, all 10 of them. You can't please everyone and not every criticism is valid, but I have yet to see a lot of responses from within the NB community. I can't. That fucking... Anyway, that are in praise of these choices. Representation matters, but it needs to be a lot more thought put into it than this. What? But it needs to be a lot more thought put into it than this. Okay. Even the idea of reclaiming these terms is something that feels very 3 years ago. Plus, reclaiming has to come from within the community, not from the minds of two cis white male creators. I love that she keeps throwing that at them.
Yeah, you're an ally, but you're still a cis white male. You've created really good LGBTQ characters, but you're still a cis white male. You're constantly on the front lines fighting our battles for us, but you're still a cis white male.
Fuck these people, seriously, fuck these people. Again, I say this with respect to the creators of these characters because I'm sure they were done with love and with the intent to be inclusive, but you're still a cis white male. It does matter to have black NB characters in comics, to have fat indigenous women and other marginalized characters so they can know they have a space in this industry. However, it doesn't mean the mistakes don't get made. I do feel like these names are an error that will be held against this comic despite the good intentions that are clearly built into it. But you're still a cis white male. And there you have it. I mean, I get what the criticism is other than the colors. That shit's fucking stupid. But the whole naming the non-binary character Snowflake is just goddamn, dude. How did you think that would be a good idea? My god. And now that I've had more time to process this, can somebody tell me what the fuck internet gas is supposed to be? Because Screentime's origin story is so goddamn stupid now that I've actually thought about it. And somebody commented, it's a really good comment, I'm gonna highlight it here now, but he rewrote Screentime's origin story and I'm like, I would read that comic. This is from Dredgen Shade. This is probably the worst, even I can do better, I think. The concept of Screentime is not bad. Hear me out. A guy who can tap into the internet and any computer with his mind is not an actual bad idea if you make him more intense. The origin and name should be different. Internet gas? Are you kidding me? Call him Technomancer or something and make his origin like his grandfather or father forced him into an experiment to combine technology with a human mind, seeking humanity's perfection. No internet gas, but pure physical torture and neural implants. He escaped and now tries to survive on his own. He constantly sees the digital world around him, slowly losing his mind until the new warriors find him and help him control his power. There, Marvel, I did your job. What do you think? I think it's awesome, dude. Like I said, that sounds infinitely more interesting than fucking internet. What is internet gas, goddammit? And why is he always doing his best Ajit Pai impersonation? What the fuck is up with these lips? A meme-obsessed teen who inhaled internet gas and is now in permanent duck face. These fucking characters, why Marvel? Why? And I've been thinking about the team dynamics of this a little bit more, so you go for Safespace first, because he can't fucking defend himself. Then you go ahead and blast the Ben 10 wannabe, because, you know, he can instantly Google how to defend against your blast, but he doesn't actually have any training or abilities to actually defend against it. So he'll know the answer, but he won't be able to do anything about it. Then you go for Snowflake, because she can make Snowflake shuriken, so I mean, if you're somebody like Pyro or the Human Torch, it's ideal because you just create a large thing of fire around you and you're invulnerable to it. But otherwise, just dodge the goddamn things because it's not like she's had any training that they talk about or any kind of like superhuman ability to throw it. Then to deal with Trailblazer, just run around in a circle for like 30 seconds to a minute. She'll pass out eventually. And when she goes for timeout, Dora the Explorer over here can pull out a box of donuts from her magic backpack. Then you have the only real threat, which is the Morbius ripoff because he can fly, has superhuman strength and yada yada, but you've dealt with everybody else. So fucking just deal with him at that point. Not really much team dynamics there. I don't even know what the fuck B negative is doing in this group. God, what an awful group. What awful characters in an awful group. Jesus Christ. I read Bounding Into Comics' coverage of this, and the funniest comment of all time is #1 on there. And it goes, "You can defeat the entire team by misgendering them." Oh, that's great. Now, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. And because you love this video so much, make sure to check out the playlist that's on the screen right now where I have other videos where I talk about similar topics that you will most definitely also enjoy. Subscribe with all notifications on so I can see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you there.